we were actually going out for black groupers. Grouper season just opened, so we were
Oh
out there,
yeah.
just trying to get hooked up.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, man, we're just dropping jigs down there, just popping them. We got them rigged up with just pieces of bonita. We're
Yeah.
just dropping it, whatever, and just boop, 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 you're doing a drop, and all of a sudden, man, just hammers this thing. And so, we're fighting, we're trying to get him off the rocks, and man, up and down, up and down, up and down. An hour and a half later, fighting this fish. Still have no clue what it is. I mean, we could see, we're fishing at about 400 feet of water, and
Yeah.
we could kind of see a glimpse. We knew it was a grouper of some sort, so we're getting it up, and every time we get it like 40, 50 feet from the surface, it would
Boom.
dive right back down.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were just dead. We were passing the rods around. I mean, we were
Yeah.
just trying to keep it alive. And so, we finally get an hour and a half later, man, we get this thing boat side, 500-pound Goliath grouper.
Oh.
And, bro, I don't have enough camera space to show you how big this is.
Welcome to the Work Hard People's Podcast. Hope everybody out there's having a good day. I'm the old guy, James. We have Abe Moody with us today, who, just so everybody knows, I like to call him a jack of all trades because this guy's had his finger in just about everything. He is a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach. He is done, geez. He's been in the lawn business, been a security guard. I'm sure he's done a whole bunch of other things we're going to find out about as well. And also, I actually met Abe through we have our own insurance businesses with Symmetry Financial Group, and so that's actually how I came in contact with you. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No, it's good, man. I mean,
It's
I think you have a lot that you can teach people because you've had your finger in so many things and you're learning how to like dial it down and focus on what is important now. And so that along with the fitness journey that you had a great transformation yourself. So let me ask you this. This is just I'm very curious about this. Why did you decide to become a prison guard?
Man, that's a great question. When I was working there, I quite often asked myself the same question, like, why am I doing this? It was genuinely by happenstance. It's a funny story. I was actually going back to college. I was going to finish up my degree and stuff, and I was sitting in the office in I think it was the financial aid office, and I'm sitting there, and one of the lieutenants, now lieutenant, she was sitting across from me, and she was signing up for college as well. So, she was going back, I guess, to finish her degree or start one or whatever. And I was sitting there, and she always told me it was because of my size. Like I'm 6'3.5", 6'4" on a good day, and I was in the gym, so I was sitting there, whatever. She looked over at me and she said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "Well, I just got back from Alaska." So I was sitting there, and she said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "Well, probably going to be a full-time student for a little while, and run up some school debt and do that whole thing while I kind of figure out my transition back." And she said, "Oh, well, we're hiring out at the prison. We're taking on security officers and stuff, and we have a big hiring blitz." And it was kind of just all by happenstance. And
Yeah.
next thing I know, she's like, "Hey, go ahead and sign up for this test." So while I was in the office, I said, "Okay, I'll sign up for the test," and went and signed up for the test. And man, it was 3 months after that, I was rocking and rolling, man, and I was working at the prison.
Was it federal? Were you
It's
federal or state?
state.
Okay.
I was
So you
purely
didn't
state.
go out
Yep.
to Georgia. You didn't go out
No,
to Georgia
no,
to the boot camp. I have a buddy who's a
nope.
federal prison guard. That's why I asked. And
Gotcha.
they
Yeah.
all go out to what is it, Calhoun, Georgia, I think, is where they have like
Yep.
that prison camp
Where
out
they do
there where
FLETC, yes,
yeah,
FLETC,
yeah.
and
So
they go out
yeah.
there and they get certified. Yeah, it was a wild ride,
Have you
man.
were you in the military or do law enforcement or anything before that
No
that made you
military.
think, hey, No?
Well, I was never in the military, never served. I chose to serve in other ways. So with my law enforcement stuff like that, that's pretty much how I told myself, convinced myself that this is the way I give back to the community is by
Yeah.
working in a law enforcement agency. And so that's what I did. Prior to that, I was a bouncer for a long time. I mean, I worked every club in Ocala. I mean, every one of them. That's yeah. I mean, I've seen them come and I've seen them go.
So
So I did that for a long time.
you're used to getting busy if you needed to then.
Yes, man, I don't run from a fight. I promise you
Yeah.
that. So
No,
it's just one of those things, man.
I wouldn't think you would either, man. And
Yeah,
you are a big dude. So and then I mean your
I
transformation's pretty
try.
good because the picture I'm gonna post the picture that you sent me of your transformation. It's gonna be we'll put it up here so
Sure,
people can see it. But dude, you were 300 plus guaranteed.
sure.
This is just me looking at the picture, and you look
Oh,
good now,
every
dude.
bit of. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I
you look
appreciate that.
really
It's
good. How did
it
that
was a
what
struggle.
what sparked it?
Well, I tell you that picture. The reason why I shared that picture with you, and I hope that you show it, man, because I
I
hope
will,
people
100%.
will garner some inspiration and things
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, man, I was touching four bills, man. I was at
Oh,
I think I was 385. I think worst shape of my life. I mean,
yeah.
absolute worst shape of my life, mentally, physically, spiritually. I mean, across the board, man. It was very rough. It was some dark times and things that I was just going through. And just one day, man, I saw that I was almost in a 5X, like wearing a 5X shirt, and that's just uncalled for.
Yeah.
Just and all for all intents and purposes, man, it was just that was I just had enough. I just had enough, and so I started learning about your macros, and I started learning kind of the industry, and you really never really worked with a personal trainer, so I took a lot of it to studying on my own and learning this
Yeah.
craft and realizing like the potential. And you have to start from scratch. When you're at
Yeah.
rock bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up. So that's what I did, man. And I would reflect on these pictures. I hated how I looked in the pictures. Because it's just, I love to smile, man. I love to have a good time. Always down to have a good time, man. Always been considered a good time, Charlie. And it's just when you feel like that, man, you just get to a point that it's like you got to make a decision. I was sick all the time and all that kind of stuff. I just felt unhealthy, like across the
What
board, man. So
let, let me ask you this. Was the transformation that you went through yourself what led you to go, you know what? I want to help other people with this. Is that why you went and got certified to become a coach?
it it
Yeah.
was. That's exactly it. That's exactly it, man. I've always had that coaching spirit. I've always, my the fabric of my being, man, is to always try to help people in any job. When I look back on this, and I reflect on this quite a bit. Anytime I look back, every job that I've had, almost every job that I've had, was some type of service.
Yeah.
Was some type of service job where it was, either for the community or, working with people or, just always just in some kind of transition to help. So, personal training was just, I mean, that's right up my alley, man. That was
Yeah.
just, now I learned this craft and, all of the years, you start to implement all of this stuff and you start to say, okay, well, how can I use this? How can I make this a tool, a vessel for me to help other people? And so it just takes digging down and making that commitment. And then once you learn it, man, it's like you want to teach it to other people. You're like, man, you can
Yeah.
make the world a better place just by just by a little bit of diet and exercise, man. It's crazy
Dude,
how
100%, man.
effective it
Because
is.
yeah, 100%. Because I'm similar. I have been coaching in one way or another for 30 years. I've coached football, I've coached
Yeah,
soccer, I've done worked with people in the gym. I like I'm an elite trainer. You're with NASA. I'm an elite trainer with ISSA in strength and conditioning, bodybuilding, nutrition.
sure.
I have had the opportunity to work with some athletes that I'm preparing for bodybuilding shows and stuff. And that being said, I've done that. And one day, I guess I was probably 40, probably 41 at the time. I'm going to be 52 this
Yeah.
year. I was like 41. I played in my last tackle football game, full pads, right?
Okay.
And I was like, man, that's starting to feel it, right? Starting to be sore.
Yeah.
I went the next weekend and I was playing indoor soccer with some 16-year-old kids, right? That were
Mm.
part of a youth group that I was overseeing. And I folded my knee in half.
Ooh.
I
Ooh.
mean, folded it. I mean,
Mm.
my kneecap was wedged into my quad. I tore the MCL. I had a slight tear in the MCL, the ACL, and the patella tendon, and shredded them,
Yeah.
folded, right?
Good Lord have mercy.
So yeah, it was
God.
bad, dude. It was bad. So
Woo.
I started recovering from that, and I let myself kind of go, right? It was very hard for me
Yeah.
at that
It
age to come back
happens.
from that. And at my son's graduation, my son graduated in 2020, and we were at his graduation party. And someone, I think my brother, took a picture of me and Chris and sent it to
Yeah.
me. And I looked at that picture, and I think I've shown you that
Mm.
picture. I was like,
Yeah.
what in the hell have you done to
Yeah.
yourself? You have been in shape your entire life. And dude, I was 325 pounds and I'm 5'11. So I was pretty portly. Let's just say that. And I was like,
Yeah.
no more, right? So
Uh,
I
yeah.
just said, you know what? You know how to do this. You know what you need to do. Get yourself in check for your health. I mean, blood pressure was getting out of whack. Other things were not
Yeah.
good.
Bad.
I felt bad, tired, lethargic, all those things.
Yeah.
And so I just flipped it. I flipped the switch and I got back after
Yeah.
doing what I know how to do. And now I'm going to be 52, and I think I'm in better shape now than I was at 41.
Yeah. It's
Right?
weird how that happens,
Yeah,
man.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely carry more muscle, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you've seen some pictures. I've been really working on my back on that X frame,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've
It's
I've
looking
got
great, man.
myself
Coming
pretty
along
wide.
great.
So, uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's funny how those little things you see one picture because I think I was pretty happy. I wasn't an
Yeah.
unhappy person. I was still up
Yeah.
for a good time. I still enjoyed people's company. I was confident. I had
Sure.
no
Sure.
problem going out. I also had no problem making fun of myself. Yeah, I'm fat ass. I
Yeah.
know it. It's all good, right? It's
It's
good. I got it.
it is it
Listen, tell the
comes with
jokes,
the
right?
territory, you know.
But now I feel good, dude. So
Good.
I'm
Good.
glad you did that because and I'm glad that you used that experience to go, hey, I could take this farther and dive in and really learn about nutrition and
Yeah.
programming and things like that so that you can help others along that journey because some people can do it by themselves and
Yeah.
that's great. Others struggle with it. They struggle gaining the knowledge and they kind of need somebody to help them to get them down the road so that
Yeah.
they can better their lives. And I tell my clients when they first start working with me, my goal as a coach is not to coach you forever. I'm happy to coach you forever, but my goal
Yeah.
as a coach is to get you to the point to teach you all the things that you need so that you can do it for yourself.
Exactly.
Because I'm like you, I
Exactly.
like to teach people, right? I like to
Yeah.
encourage them. I want them to gain the information because then it doesn't matter where they're at. They'll
Yeah.
always have
They
that
can take it with
information.
them wherever they go. Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yep.
So now you live in I know you said you're in Ocala right now helping out your folks, but
Yeah.
you actually live in NOLA, right?
I do. I do, man. I live in a little, like right on the outskirts, man. It's a stone's throw away right across Mississippi is downtown New Orleans. So
Okay,
it's a
okay.
little town called Gretna. Yep, little
Okay, I
town
know
called
where
Gretna.
Gretna
So
is. I know where Gretna is. Good
yeah,
deal.
yeah, yeah. It's a cool little spot, man. It's not bad. We
Yeah.
live in a great neighborhood. New Orleans has its own persona, and you just got to take it for what it is. And
It does,
um,
man. When I was stationed, real
it's
quick, when I was stationed at Keesler Air Force Base, I was there during Mardi Gras. And
Yeah.
me and my buddy and a few chicks, we took off and went to Mardi Gras party down there one weekend. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
not, that is an experience of a lifetime. If you've never been, people,
It's different.
you need to
Yeah.
check it out because
Yeah.
it is a good time.
Highly recommend it. I highly recommend
Yes.
it, man. It's just a unique experience. I mean, across the board. If you love great food, if you love, good people wanting to have a good time, just all of the different festivals. I mean, it's 100 different festivals inside of a festival. Like, I mean, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
everything going on. The live music, just the ambiance of the whole thing, man. I highly recommend, if you've never been to Mardi Gras, go to Mardi Gras. It's
Oh,
just a
yeah.
cool vibe all the way
Yeah.
through, man. It's just cool.
It's funny. I'll tell you a quick funny story, man. So we're down there. We're in some bar. I
Oh
can't
boy.
remember. I can't remember. No, this is good. I can't remember where we're at. We're in some bar. We're sitting there talking, getting some drinks. And there's this other dude, and I could tell he was in the military, you could tell. And he's talking to this chick, right?
Mm.
And he's talking about how he's a pilot and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, this guy's cool. I'm talking to him. That's pretty cool, man. How'd you,
Yeah.
we're just having
Man,
this
I
little
like this
conversation.
guy.
This guy's pretty cool, man. So anyway, one thing goes to another. We get separated. We're just, our friends are doing their thing. And the next like 3 or 4 days later, I saw him on base
Yeah. Oh
with
god.
stripes. And
How'd that work out for you?
I said, "Hey, dude, what?" He
Yeah.
saw me, started
You're like,
laughing.
like,
He's
oh
like,
god.
"Yeah, I was just trying to impress the lady." I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh god.
"That's too funny, man. Too
Yeah, that's
funny."
good. It's a small world, man.
The
Small
things
world.
us guys do for women, I'm telling you right now.
Ah, Lord have mercy. Don't get me started on that one, boy. We'll take up the whole time.
Yeah, just be yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
Just be yourself.
So hey man, you've done the prison guard thing. You are now a licensed coach. You're working on that, and you're now a licensed insurance agent. Why did you decide to do that? And did you do that through Symmetry? Is that where you got licensed?
I did. I went through Symmetry. I started on the insurance side, man. I'm actually a licensed adjuster, and that's what started this whole road down insurance. And
Okay.
it's a completely different. I mean, completely other side of the coin when it comes to adjuster and what we do with Symmetry. I mean, it's one is obviously if you make a claim on your house or something like that, roof damage and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So I learned the insurance side starting with that. Prior to that, that was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I think, is when I started with the adjuster stuff. Um, did it primarily to work hurricanes. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted
Yeah.
to, work the Gulf states, just through hurricane season because it's a very lucrative industry. If you can just get through the tests, if you can get your certifications and stuff, it's fantastic, man. It's tough. It's a very tough industry. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you gotta learn how to grind it out, man. And it's long days when you work through the hurricanes and stuff. But
Yeah.
very lucrative, and that's what I was chasing, man. I was just chasing the dollar bills at that point, and realized that being on the road, doing that kind of having that kind of lifestyle is rough, man. I mean, you just don't. You're strapped down for 5 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
That means no time with family. That means no time really to do anything. I mean, and
Yeah.
then for the next 6 months, you're recovering. So it's kind of it's just like, oh, okay, well, all for naught.
Yeah.
So I looked to bring everything home. So that's what I wanted to do. So I found Symmetry, and I said, okay, I'm kind of already in the insurance game. It's another avenue, but let me try to see what this can, what this can do for me. So I was able to bring everything to the house. So now, obviously, we work remote. Built a nice little office at the house and stuff that I get to work out of, and it's nice. I like the transition. I've never done remote work before, so it was took a little while to learn to get some continuity and
Yeah.
some consistency involved because you have to really keep yourself disciplined. If you don't stay disciplined, working from home, it can get away from you real quick.
Yeah, when you're your own dude and you're doing it from home, you got to stay on point. You need to structure your day
Yeah.
just like you would an office day. It's not I
Yep.
get to do what I want. It's I need to do what
God
I
no.
need so that I can do what I want, right? You got to put
There
it's
you
like any
go. Yeah.
job. If you do not put in the work or put in the time, you're not going to be successful at it. Period.
Exactly.
Um,
100%.
and
100%.
insurance, so I love insurance and just the financial planning. I first got licensed in 2008,
Okay.
9, I think it was. I was in California at the time. I also was on the investment side of things as well.
Gotcha.
And for me, it's like you said, you always when you look back, you find that you've always put yourself in situations where you can help and coach others, right? And I'm
Yeah.
I'm similar to that. And for me, it's being in a position to provide services for families that they
Sure.
truly need to benefit their life under many circumstances, right? Whether it be planning for retirement or planning for tragedy, which that's mainly
Sure.
what we do at Symmetry. We do some of the retirement side of things with the advanced markets, IULs and the debt-free life and things like that. But it mainly comes down to dealing with tragedy. And if you've never been in that situation where somebody has had a tragic loss, whether they were prepared for it or not, and did not have coverage, you completely understand the burden that it can put on a family. Where
Oh
if you
man.
had just taken the time
Yeah.
and spent a few bucks, even if it's just a very few bucks, the amount of pressure you can take off that family who's always already dealing with one of the most tragic moments in their life, depending
Yeah.
on the circumstance, right?
Yep.
So I love that aspect of it. I love the
Yeah.
protection that we are able to provide families. So
It's
um,
super important, super
yeah,
important. And it's, the crazy thing about it, man, is like it's what is it worth to you? I mean, how much is it worth? Is it worth, a few extra bucks to protect your family? I mean, it's worth that phone call, right? It's
yeah,
worth that talk, to be able to just have that security knowing that, your family's protected, man. I mean,
yeah.
it's just to me, it almost the struggle that I find in this job is it almost to when you speak to clients, they look at it almost like a luxury. But I don't think that they understand that, you insure everything else. You insure your house,
Oh
you insure
yeah.
your cars, you insure your assets, things like, I mean, whatever. They insure all of that. But when it comes to insuring your family and your legacy, it's all of a sudden it's a luxury. It's man, you got to get something in place. You got to get something in place. And I use this platform, man. I use almost every platform that I'm involved with to push that mission. To
Yeah.
help understand just how important it is to have something in place to safeguard your family, man. I mean, in the worst case, they already have enough to deal with. If the absolute worst happens and you're passing, and now they've got to grieve. If you don't have anything in place and no structure, no support system like that, you have to grieve, and then you have to think about, well, what's going to happen next. You take
Hmm.
away that what if, and that's a big what if. That's a very expensive what if. So,
Oh yeah.
it's there's a
People
lot of
lose homes,
gratification.
they all that stuff. They end up,
Yeah,
if a breadwinner of a family passes and things aren't in place, I mean, it can be an
yeah.
absolute nightmare.
It can be
And
gone just like that.
who
Yeah,
was it? As someone said once, hey, you're either gonna you're either gonna take care of your family or you're gonna
yeah,
stiff them. So if you love them, what do you
yeah.
want to do, right?
Yeah,
You're
exactly. Exactly.
do you want to set them up, even if it's just for a critical period, that first 3 to 6 months after somebody
Sure.
passes, where they just don't have to worry about what's going on
Yes.
right now. They can grieve and get a plan in place and breathe a little
Yeah.
bit. Uh, you
Just
know,
get something. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it happened, dude. It happened with my dad. I was telling him for years to do it, and he didn't do it. And then,
Yeah.
next thing you know, the family's on the hook for 18, 20 grand. And it just,
Yep.
it's
All could have been
crazy.
avoided.
And
It's just
yeah, it all could have been avoided, but people
yeah,
just in a way, it's selfish,
yeah, it is.
right? It's
It's
and
yeah,
we're gonna get
it
right
is.
down to it. It's kind of
Yeah,
selfish
it
to
is.
to do that
100.
to
I
your
100%
family,
agree.
man.
Yep, yep,
I
yep.
mean, for me, like right now, I mean, I got enough coverage that, my wife, she works as well. Mainly for her, it's more about just keeping her head on straight, but
Sure, sure.
just giving her activity. We don't have kids in the house anymore. My kids are all
Yeah.
grown. My baby boy is going to be 21 in 29 days. So,
Wow.
it's
Oh,
close,
to be
right?
21 again,
Yeah.
man.
So,
Ah,
but
God.
she has, if something was to happen to me, she has enough coverage to, she wouldn't have to do jack for the next 15, 20 years.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's nice. That's
yeah,
nice.
it gives her
Yeah.
plenty of time to, it gives her 20 years to plan her future and figure out if she needs
There
to,
you go.
go find her, go be a gold digger, find her some money bags and
Oh man.
do what she wants, right?
Set her
So,
loose.
hey, I told her, I said, you go, hey, something ever happens to me, you go get the richest man you can find and you land
There
that
you go.
fish. I
There you
don't
go.
care. You
There
get
you go.
after
You
it.
just keep going, man. Keep going.
Yeah, yeah. I want you doing credit
Uh,
checks before you go out on dates, girl.
there
Don't.
you go. There you go. Application. So she's taking applications.
That's right. That's awesome.
That's
That's
good.
good.
That's good. I like it. I
So
like
what's your
it.
future, man? Abe, what are you doing? What do
um,
you foresee in the next decade of your life?
man, I'm running this insurance thing for as long as I can stand it. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
see me coming off of this thing for a long time. I'm currently in school as well, so I'm running after my bachelor's right now, finishing up that
And what?
for entrepreneurship
Okay,
and leadership development. So I think
I
it
got you.
kind of lends its hand, going hand in hand with with the training stuff. Building a business, man. Everything scratches every itch I got with building a business, and just
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, building, building, building. That's all I really ever want to do. I mean, so
Yeah.
that's just works for me, man.
Yeah. Some
100%.
people, it's a strange cat. There's two types of people out here. There are people that need to be told what to do, and people like
Yep.
to be the ones telling people what to do. And you're gonna fall in one of those categories, right?
100%.
And
Yep.
and it's not easy to be an entrepreneur and run your own business. It's not. It takes a lot of effort.
God, no.
People do not understand the amount of
Oh,
hours and things that go
yeah.
into building something from scratch. They have no idea. None.
No clue. Yeah, it's
Uh,
tough, man.
yeah, I mean, dude, even when, I just recently got back in the insurance game a couple months back, but
Yeah.
even when I was building the podcast and building my coaching company, Work Hard Peoples, when we were building that, dude, I was putting in sometimes 20 hours a day, literally
Oof.
20 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would wake up with an idea and run with it, trying to get the pieces to fall into
Yeah.
place to get it done. And,
Yep.
it was insanity, trying to get it done. And right now, I mean, it's not, we're not making millions of dollars, but the company's paying for itself. I don't have to
Good.
come out of pocket to pay for
Yep.
any of our services or things that we need to
Good.
do the business. So that's good, and we have some plans. Right now it's just kind of been crazy, but we have some plans to sit down and put a few more pieces, right? Add a
Sure.
couple attachments to the
Absolutely.
car, make it look a little
Always got to grow,
shinier.
man. Yep.
Yeah,
Always
so
got to grow. Yep.
it just takes time. And I actually that was the reason I got back into the insurance game is, we had that guy on our team huddle, Mark, and he got into symmetry to fund his passion of being a producer. When
That's it, man.
the reason he struck a chord with me is because I came and got into symmetry to fund my passion of coaching. I want to be
Yeah.
able. I don't want to have to take on any client. I want to take the clients that I want to
Yep.
take that I think truly
Absolutely.
need me,
Yes.
and I want
Yes.
to focus on them. Right, and symmetry gives me the opportunity to do that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So let me ask you this, Abe. advice, what would be your number one piece of advice to people out there that are struggling, whether it be physically, mentally, financially, and you could take this several different directions. I just want to know, like, if
Yeah.
I came to you and I said, "Hey, I'm struggling, bro," what would you tell me?
I'm going to tell you straight up, get ready for the grind. Just get ready for the grind. You're going to have to dig. I mean, you're going to have to really dig and find your purpose. I think when you find that purpose, and you can do that I mean, pick your pick your poison when you're trying to find that, man. It's so important to move through this world with purpose. You've got to find something. You've got to find that thing that drives you. Um, it's with me specifically. Like when you ask me what does my future look like, well, it's yeah, a lot of it is just being on that grind, man. My purpose is, to build, to grow, to really just see what I'm made of, to test my metal, to see what I can do and how I can change this world for the better. So the people that struggle with um, not having a purpose, it's just, life is about experience, man. And just when you say that I'm a jack of all trades. Well, the reason I do that is because I don't want to know everything about everything, but I want to know a little bit about a lot. That
Yeah,
helps me kind of figure out if something has plateaued over here. Well, hey, I know a little bit about this over here, so let me try this. Let me see what kind of satisfaction I can get from this. And then when that runs its course, okay, well, I know a little bit about that over there, so let me try this over there. So to me, life is about experience, man. It's about putting yourself in a better place, spiritually, financially, mentally, physically, like across the board. And it takes work, man. You got to grind it out. This stuff don't come for free. I mean, it,
no,
it definitely doesn't come for
no,
free.
no, no. But
You got to get in there.
but purpose. I love that you use the word purpose, right? We often talk in some of our meetings about your why, right?
Yeah.
What's your why, which I think brings us into purpose. What I love about purpose is that when you're purposeful about something, when you have a passion that gives you purpose, something you're focusing on, yes, it's a grind, but if you're passionate and purposeful about it, it doesn't seem like a grind.
No, and you love
You'll
what you
look,
do.
you're right.
I mean,
You'll
you
look back.
genuinely find love in it.
Yeah,
It's
you'll enjoy it. You look forward to doing those things. Like this podcast, dude, I look
yes,
forward to doing this every week. I love
yeah,
doing it. I like talking to people, all kinds of
sure,
people.
yeah, man, it's great.
I enjoy it. I enjoy hearing their stories. I am
Yeah,
able to gain wisdom from them. I'm a firm believer that you're never too old to stop learning, and that when you do, you
never.
might as well
Yeah,
start digging your grave because you're dead. Right?
yep,
And just because somebody may be younger than you or less experienced than you in something does not mean that they cannot teach you, right? So,
absolutely,
dude,
absolutely.
I pick my partner's brain all the time. She's 24 years old. I think she's going to be 25 in September. This is my partner with the fitness company, and with Work
Sure,
Hard People.
sure. Yep.
She's in insurance, right? She works for a different company, but I pick her brain all the time because she has adapted to this, and she is a freaking rock star.
Yeah.
Okay, in this business, she kicks butt,
Yeah.
right?
Good.
Like last
That's awesome.
last week, I think, and I can only say this because she posted all over social media because she's like,
Yeah.
"Look at
Yeah.
me." So last week she made over 4 grand in her
Yeah.
pocket. That's what she
Great.
deposited in the bank.
That's a
And
great
she
week.
she
Yeah. Yeah.
averages, I very rarely see her less than 2,500.
Yeah. That's a
Like
good week, man. That's a strong week, man. Good
right?
results.
But this girl, you wouldn't know it. You see that money, but is she working for it? Yeah, that girl probably works 70, 80 hours a week,
Yeah.
right? She
Yep.
is running. And the thing with her company is they do most of their appointments are face to face. So
Wow.
she's driving
Okay.
all over the place, meeting people in their homes.
Yeah.
And she is, but she loves doing it, right?
Yeah.
She loves doing it. It's a grind, and she is building something special. She is very, very good
Yeah.
at what she does. I've talked to her about this, but she's like, I'm not ready to do that. I want to.
Yeah.
She's loving the grind,
She'll
right?
get there.
Loving
She'll
getting
get
out there.
there.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
of these days, I
absolutely.
think she will. She'll want to maybe transition, or if she actually moves up in the company, and she'll want to slow
Yeah.
down eventually. But my point is, she found that purpose. She's very good at it. So like I ask her all the time, I'm like, hey, how would you handle this situation? And she'll just, I handle
Yeah.
it this way. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, that's a great idea, right? Now,
Yeah.
if I was one of those douchebags that's like, oh yeah, no, you're 25 years old. You can't teach me nothing,
Yeah.
right? Would I
You
learn?
can't tell me. You've been here 10 minutes. You can't tell
Yeah,
me
would I
nothing.
learn?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Right? I will
Yeah.
learn from anybody that I possibly can. I love learning stuff. I
Oh, it's
like
fantastic.
growing mentally.
Yes.
I just love doing it. So I take
Yeah.
every opportunity. So I love that you pointed that out about purpose. I love that
Yeah.
you have positioned your life in a way where you can help and support others and teach them things as well as being receptive to learning because you're very similar. You're very receptive to learning. You have no hesitation to ask a question or pick up the phone and say, hey, how would you handle
None.
this situation? Or what do you think about that? Or, and I'm
Yeah.
similar in that way as well. I have no problem doing it. And it's one of the things I appreciate about you. Because
Yeah. I
we've
appreciate it.
over the past month or so have been developing a friendship
Sure.
as well as a business relationship, and it's I appreciate it. It's a good experience.
Yeah.
So
No, likewise, man. It's great. I think that that's the cornerstone to really the only way you're ever going to learn something is by asking a question. There you go.
the four
That's
cornerstones.
that's it, man. It's but next to failure and asking is just one of those things. It's just a fundamental, man. Asking and trying to understand it and trying to just it also helps in building relationships, man, building community, building these we can get on any call, we can get on, we have our own little sidebar Zoom sessions and stuff, and
Yeah,
we just get on there and we just talk about things, man, and just we work it out, we kick the ball around,
yeah,
we just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. I'll call you and ask you about information about, hey man, what does this mean? Like, I'm reading it, I've read it 10 times, but what does this mean? And then you have an easy way to clean it up because it's something that you've been familiar with, and you say, yeah, I know this, take it and look at it like this. Or throw in these little catchphrases, when we work with clients, to really get them to kind of turn their head and say, oh, okay, then let me talk to
okay,
you now.
yeah, yeah,
That stuff
yeah.
is super important, and you don't get that. I can sit over here and write a bunch of stuff down, and maybe it'll work. But when you get to talk to somebody who's been through that experience, they'll tell you, yeah, hey, this one works, this one doesn't. Hey, I haven't had a lot of traction with this one here, and you only get that experience by asking.
Hmm.
I mean, there's so much information comes from learning from others, and if you take that in, if you're receptive of that, and you become coachable, you become teachable, man, it's the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree, and I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today on the podcast
Absolutely,
and
thank you.
deliver some of that knowledge. I do. You left us with purpose. I want you to leave me with one more nugget, man. One more nugget. What do you want to tell the people out there?
Oh man, um, there's a lot of things, man. We got the gift of gab, so it's kind of like which one do you want here? No, I would say make sure that you always stay grounded. Don't lose yourself in the grind. Don't lose sight of the things that really matter. Things like family, friendships, community. It's such a volatile world out there, man, and we are exposed to so much negativity nowadays. Everything from social media to politics to a war on every part of the soil around this world. We
Yeah.
just get lost in the mix, man, and it's so important to just keep yourself grounded, man, and focus on the things that really deserve our attention. We can give that stuff away for free and put it in all the wrong places, but if we really give back to our community, if we really give back to our families, and we strive to take care of ourselves, man, I think the world will just be a better place. Much more easy to navigate. Just you take care of house and home, and it'll take care of you. So
No, I agree 100%. Thank you so much. That was some great information. Great way to end the show. I appreciate everybody out there. Appreciate all the likes and subscribes. Ask that you guys keep doing it. And we're going to keep trying to bring you good people like Abe to drop some nuggets here and see if we can't just help one person out there get a little bit better. So,
that's
you know how we like to end it here. Just you remember, you get out there and you work
it.
hard, peoples, and don't forget to smile. Thanks so much for watching or listening. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at Work Hard Peoples LLC or Instagram at Work Hard Peoples LLC. You can also find us on our website at workhardpeoples.com. Have a great day or night. Don't forget to smile.